Hey guys, Coach Hunter here, back with another video for the H4 community. I wanted to do a quick little segment on reading the label, specifically reading the label for peanut butter and various types of nut butters. Um, there's a lot of talk about nut butters, and a lot of it is kind of up in the air about what is really good for you, what's bad for you, and hopefully this video will help dispel some of the facts and myths about peanut butter so we can get a better understanding of what we buy at the grocery store. Alright, so before we get into the fluff of the video, let's talk about some facts about peanut butter and some myths. Well, a fact about peanut butter is it's high in protein, so that's going to be really great for using it as a recovery tool after a workout or using it to add some necessary calories to your meals. They're rich in folates. Folate is important because it's a good source of maintaining or increasing overall red blood cells, so that's awesome to have because we're exercising, we're going to be using so much of it. Three, most kind of moving from a myth and a fact, people think peanuts are too high in fat to be a part of a healthy diet, which isn't necessarily true. Peanuts have the fats that we want, which are monounsaturated fats, which have been linked to lowering inflammation and reducing the risk of heart disease. So let's finally start talking about peanut butter, starting from the top with traditional peanut butter. Traditional peanut butter is full fat, the type of fats that we want for the most part. Very cheap, but there are some things that you need to be wary about it, such as the type of oils that are used in the process of creating that peanut butter, such as palm oils, which generally has been linked to increasing saturated fats, which we may want to avoid, plus the added sugars. As you can see in the B-roll of this video, there are some brands which add more sugar than others. Generally, you want to look for the unsweetened version of peanut butter. That said, peanut butter is rich in vitamins such as E, B3, B6, and a good source of minerals such as manganese, copper, magnesium. It's rich in protein, carbohydrates, and fats, the fats that we want. Good source of folates, which, as you know, helps produce red blood cells. And it's very calorie dense, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. We have to be careful about how we serve ourselves. Let's talk about the alternative, almond butter. So almond butter is really good too because overall it's a great choice. Not the better choice, but it's a great choice. It's very similar in flavor and texture. Really good source of monounsaturated fats, which that's one of the fats that we do want. It's a good fat, lowers LDL, develops and maintains cells, contains omega-3s, which peanut butter generally won't. So that's going to help in cardiovascular health overall. Generally, almond butter will be less in sugar, so that's something to look for. But like I said, look for the unsweetened version. Good source of protein, a little bit less than peanut butter, but great source in carbohydrates and fats. You may also notice in this video that there are a lot of variants of almond butter. So with that said, be careful about which you choose because the sweeter ones, especially the honey and the chocolate version, will have a higher amount of sugar. Next up, let's talk about cashew butter. Cashew butter is very calorie dense. That could be a good or a bad thing. Generally, we'll have more carbs, less protein, more fats compared to the variants, but depending on where you're at, could be necessary for you. Generally, more added sugar, so if you're worried about your sugars, check for that. Good source of iron, potassium, and calcium. So compared to the other butters, you may not find that as much. Maybe something to look into. It's going to keep you satiated for a little bit longer just because it's higher in fats, so better mouthfeel overall. And, it's an alternative from soy and other types of legumes, so something to look about. Now we have natural peanut butter. Natural peanut butter will have all the great benefits of traditional peanut butter, but generally with half as much added sugar. However, you should still check the label. Natural peanut butter does not mean zero sugar. Neither does organic. Still look for the unsweetened, and I've generally found that the crunchy variants will be 0 grams of sugar compared to the pure and creamy variants. Fifth on our list is tahini. Tahini is made of sesame seeds. Generally, tahini butter will have less added ingredients. It's great for lowering LDL cholesterol, which we want less of, packed with good amounts of protein and healthy fats. Also a wonderful source of calcium, once again, just like cashew butter, also including iron and magnesium as a prime source, and it has many antioxidants which can help with fighting inflammation. Alright, finally we have hazelnut spread. I wanted to add this as a caution to our list. It's not comparable to peanut butter despite it sitting next to peanut butter in most grocery stores and should be considered more of a dessert. It's super high in sugar, and each serving will generally be higher in calories than a typical nut butter serving. Thus said, it will also have a lot of palm oils, and these are the saturated fats that we are trying to stay away from. With that said, I'm not saying you can't eat Nutella or eat hazelnut spreads, but you want to eat them sparingly. And please do not use it as a health supplement because it is extremely calorie dense, and that unnecessarily large amount of added sugar could be imposing on your fitness progress. With a lot of comparisons, which is the best for you? It really depends, but if you had to know my personal favorite, it would probably be natural peanut butter and or natural almond butter, both for being the most moderate overall and best tasting in my personal opinion. However, it is still up to you to find which one is best for your personal needs, as well as being best for you. You should be careful about your serving sizes with these. It is often easy to get carried away because of the many buttery spreads. With that said, my name is Coach Chantra, and thanks for sitting on my segment about reading the label, specifically about peanut butter and the many different types of nut butters.